All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great session with the presidential candidate of the fictional Common Sense People's Party. Now, after the Supreme Court judgment, some political commentators began saying, even though Peter Obi was not declared president, that as a patriotic Nigerian, he should still be open to using his ideas to make Nigeria better. And shortly after then, the TINUBU administration began trying to get Obi to work with them, just as they did immediately after the election. But Obi refused. They tried to bring Obi's deputy, Dati Yusuf, on board. But Dati also refused. Then they had to go to Dati's elder brother and they made him an SSA to TINUBU. Now, the major reasons Obi and Dati refused are: one, because they actually won and their mandate was stolen. Reason number two, light has nothing to do with darkness. You cannot serve in a very subordinate capacity under a people who do not mean well for Nigeria. There will be conflict of interest if you mean well for Nigeria, and they will end up denting your image. And at the end of the day, people will say you are exactly the same as them. That is what is happening now in TINUBU administration. Since they assumed office, it has been from one foreign loan to another. As it stands, TINUBU has taken more loans in 6 months than Buhari took in 2 years. And each time he applies for a loan, the Akpabio-led Senate approves it without delay. To the point that one of the senators complained with Ali Ndume that bills involving money were being passed without proper deliberation. The senator even said that history will judge Akpabio. And now, the Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, an intelligent man who should not be found anywhere near the APC, is now complaining there is serious disagreement between him and the APC people on how the country should be run. But before I show you the origin of this conflict between the finance minister Wale Edun and the APC, let me quickly show you this video where this man had to rename INEC. This man has changed and he renamed INEC after the atrocities of the gubernatorial elections. Watch the video.
Frankly speaking, is the umpire, not the politicians, not the electorate. What we have today, let's say the truth, is indicted national electoral criminals. That's INEC. That's what we have today in Nigeria. From 1999 to date, we've had cases of electoral malpractices.
Let me jump in here, Carlo. Let's be decorous in our language. We quite understand you can make your point without trying to malign any acronym or institution. It's Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Today, that's not what they are. We must say what they are today. As Nigerians, we know what the institution they are dealing with. You cannot, after everybody, even the European Union, after the election, gave their report and indicted INEC. And after that, INEC spent billions of naira in the 2023 election. And everybody, all the institutions, all the electoral observers, local and foreign, condemned what happened in the election. And we thought with the off-season election that they were going to make an improvement. But what happened was even worse than what happened at the election, in 2023 election, general election. And you said we should not say it the way it is. When we can't say it the way it is, then they are not going to continue.
You heard him. He said there is no point hiding it anymore. Let us come out and call it what it is so that we can fight it, so that it can stop. He said they are now the indicted national electoral criminals, not Independent National Electoral Commission anymore. That is what INEC has become. That is what they should be called now. Now, let us look at what the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, said to the Senate. Look at how the papers reported it. Nigeria can no longer rely on borrowing, Finance Minister tells Senate. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has disclosed that the country cannot rely on borrowing to fund the 2024 budget. Edun stated this on Thursday when he appeared before the Joint Senate Committee interrogating the 2024 to 2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper, chaired by Senator Sani Musa. We have an existing borrowing profile. Our direction of tariff is to reduce the quantum of borrowing or intercepting deficit financing in the 2024 budget, he said. Clearly, the environment that we have now, internationally as well as nationally, we are in no position to rely on borrowing. They are in the process sacrificing that immediate goal for compacting their economies, or at least contracting the money supplies and pushing up the interest rates. And of course, high interest rates and investments don't go together. What is left for us to access those funds are expensive, so it is the last thing that we must rely on. As we know, we have all the figures and debt servicing and cushioning 98% of government revenue. The last thing you can think of is to pile on more debts. The government needs not to just maintain its activity, it needs to spend more. If you look at government spending, if you look at the budget as a percentage of GDP, ours is one of the lowest, being 10%. Even Ghana is at 25%, and the rich ones are at 50%. Now, what Wale Edun is saying here is that we make a budget and we end up using the most part of it to service debts. He said the government needs to spend more money on the people. Government is not spent. The infrastructures are dying in Nigeria. Everything is just on a decline, and then we keep borrowing. What sense does this make? And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here says, APC has plunged us into bankruptcy. I'm telling you. And this one right here says, are you telling the rubber stamp Senate to not approve fresh loans? Telling them not to ask for more palliatives? Or should you be telling your own boss to stop doing gele dance with lenders? Oh. And this tweet here by Koros says, this is just the beginning of this regime. Ha 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 ha. Oh, so sad. This tweet by Darfire says, last, we go still borrow. I'm telling you, they are going to defy all these warnings and still borrow, because now them, they even chop inside that money pass. And Mr. Oladipo here says, putting the yacht and presidential jets on charter service and registering the SUVs on Uber and Bolt may do the magic. This tweet here by Zytec Global says, the only headway for this country is by restructuring. I don't know why this country has decided to be moving backwards, even when it knows what to do. Restructure Nigeria by allowing every zone grow and develop on its own, so this country can be saved if you really want to save it. I'm telling you, it seems hopeless now. This tweet by Onajite says, make una cut una salaries and bonuses for a start. If not, make una stop to dey disturb our eardrums. Now the same una go borrow money. Now the same una go spend the money, buy cars, pay una sales bonuses. Which mumu noise una con dey make for person here? Now I wonder, you are squandering the country's resources, and now you are coming to make noise. This tweet here by Jasper says, that means we have gotten to our limits, just like borrowing airtime from network providers like MTN and others. And this tweet by the P says, this statement is scary. This government might start targeting people's accounts because they are tired of borrowing. And this one here by J says, maybe if you and your chief, TINUBU, can try to control spending, Nigeria may not have to borrow as much. 1.2 billion for the chief's wife seems excessive. That is it. 1.5 billion has been set aside to be used to renovate the office of the First Lady, an office that is not even in the Constitution. 13.5 billion to renovate the office of the President and the Vice President. Another 1.5 billion naira to buy SUVs for this is how they waste the nation's resources. Then they will now go and borrow to come and fund all these frivolities. Oh, Nigeria. And I can tell you for free that the warnings of the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, is going to fall on deaf ears. These people have decided that they are going to run this country on loans until they will completely deplete this country's resources. Nothing concerns them. Their own aim is just to enrich themselves and themselves alone. And that is why concerned citizens have been telling Nigerians to get up and take their country back. It is left to be seen if Nigerians will do the right thing, or if we go open our eyes, they look, make these people continue to they squander our commonwealth. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news where una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So, don't go away. Don't go